There are some life lessons we can learn from friends that can apply to singing confidently. I just loved watching the recent Friends reunion, and I was bummed that it took so long for them to do it, but I'm so glad that they did. I have been a Friends fan for a long time. I think I've seen every episode probably 10 to 15 times. I mean, honestly, probably even more for some of them. I even had a Friends-themed birthday party a couple years ago where we watched my 10 favorite episodes and played trivia games with prizes. I am a Friends fanatic. And it got me thinking after watching the recent reunion. So today I'm sharing with you my tips for being a confident singer from Friends. I hope you enjoy it. You're listening to Confident Singing Made Simple. Whether you want to sing professionally or just want to impress your friends at karaoke, this show is for you if you want more consistency, control, and choices in your voice and performance skills. I'm your singing coach and host, Deanna Mayo. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get the party started. All right, so let's just jump right in here. First one is, how you doing? Yeah, Joey taught us to ask ourselves questions, and I'm recommending you do that before, during, and after each practice session, each lesson, and each rehearsal. Check in, scan your body, ask yourself, how's my head and heart doing today? How's my body doing today? Just notice where you are, notice what's working, notice what's not. The more questions you can ask yourself along the way, the better. The second part of this is, could I be any more? So asking questions is great. And what if you could finish that sentence with a particular emotion or a particular sound quality, right? And that might give you a better performance. And you could just try things out and explore what your voice can do with a particular song. Maybe it's a tune that you know really well and you've done it for a long, long time. What if you sang it only in upper register or head voice? What if you sang it only in chest voice or lower register? What if you added more twang or nasality? What if you made it darker? There's all kinds of things you can do with your voice, but you won't know until you experiment. All right, the next one is about being obsessively clean like Monica. I love Monica wanting to vacuum the vacuum with her dustbuster, her little handheld vacuum, and then she said, what if there was a smaller one for this one? It was just such a great moment. And this really goes to our vocal health. How are you taking care of yourself and your voice? Are you drinking plenty of water? Do you know how much plenty is for you and your body? Are you dealing with allergies or avoiding foods that cause you to feel sniffly, sneezy, have a scratching in the throat from that postnasal drip, more mucusy? How's your sleep? Are you over singing or talking too loud and creating pain or strain? There's so much that can impact our vocal health. And if you don't know what those things are for you that you need to be doing, you need a voice teacher to work with. That's going to help you figure out how to do those things healthy so that you can go forward and sing your best sound every day. All right, the next one is to be the best Al Pacino's butt that you can possibly be. Oh, Joey. Joey taught us to go for things. He was fearless when it came to his approach to a new role or new opportunity. I love how seriously he took the opportunity to play Al Pacino's butt in season 1. Joey knew that this job could be his big break. And the truth is, we've got to put our best foot forward in every single thing that we do. You never know where an opportunity can lead to. So that means taking care of your voice and going out there and trying new things like, maybe you haven't been singing very much in the last year and a couple months because of the COVID-19 quarantine. If you don't have a routine to develop your voice and keep it strong at home, you need to get a voice teacher that's going to help you do it so that when your opportunity comes up to be Al Pacino's butt, you're ready for the call. Don't be afraid to take a risk. It was Rachel. Whether it was staying in the city after she climbed out of the window at her wedding to Barry without any credit cards, or, getting off the plane to Paris to be with Ross, she taught us that taking a risk is worth it. It'll teach you to live in the moment and not look back. I mean, who wants to be predictable anyway? So vocally, I say try new things, make weird sounds, see what others are doing, and don't be afraid to try it too. One of the best exercises I think you can do is pick a singer whose repertoire is nothing like you would sing and work on one of their songs and try to emulate them. You'll end up learning new skills and new things about what your voice can do, and you'll get clear about what you like and what you don't like about music that you choose. Next one is, everybody has an opinion about things, and it's okay. So consider this piece of wisdom from Joey Tribbiani. It's a moo point. It's like a cow's opinion. Just doesn't matter. It's moo. While many of us like to consider ourselves fairly confident people, there's no doubt that we all value other people's opinions way more than we probably should, especially when it comes to what we think our audience is thinking about us. Like when Ross just couldn't accept that Phoebe didn't believe in evolution. Well, everyone is going to have an opinion about everything. And it would be positively dull if everyone had the same opinion about everything. But worrying about what someone else might think, well, that's just not worth it. Sometimes it's just a moo point. Go out there and do your best and don't worry about it. Next is to read things thoroughly. Maybe folks shouldn't say they read a whole letter when they didn't read a whole letter, Ross. I know it was 18 pages front and back, but don't say that you've read it if you haven't. There could be some important stuff in there. In the voice world, this is all about studying your music. Can't read music yet? Learn. Don't just learn from a recording, and certainly not just from one person's rendition of a song if possible. Get some basic music reading skills, and you'll discover that there are tips and clues and things that the composer gave you in the sheet music to help you along the way. Keep it real. I think Ross is very misunderstood. Sometimes he can come off as sad and judgmental, but Ross is the one that keeps it real. When Phoebe thought her mother was reincarnated into a cat, he was the one who stepped up and said something. A lover of science, Ross is very learned, and it often comes through in his sarcasm. But he's definitely taught us the difference between your and your, Y-O-U-R and Y-O-U''re, and unagi. In voice, this translates to keeping it real in your own voice. Find your best sound and sing it. Don't try to be like anybody else. Sing songs that mean something to you. Wear clothes that you feel good in, that you feel like represent you best. Go out there and be yourself. I know it's easier said than done, but with practice you can totally do it. Monica taught us to always stay motivated. Monica doesn't shy away from leading the group and taking responsibility for tasks. Someone has to do it. And her leadership skills took the group a long way, and they can take you a long way too. She has her quirks, and she'd be the first one to admit it. She likes to arrange her furniture in a certain way. The pad has to be right by the phone pad and the phone pen. She has 11 different categories for towels. You can't eat in bed. You got to eat your crumbs over the sink. Otherwise, there'd be crummies. She embraces all these things about herself, and you should embrace your quirks too. Monica also taught us to take a job that we love instead of doing something we just detest. But pursuing your dream can be tough. You might have to do something you don't like. Monica knew very early on she wanted to be a chef and open her own restaurant someday. In the bargain, she wore costumes and flame-retardant booms and skates and danced and waitressed at diner. Ultimately, though, she was the head chef at her own restaurant, and if you keep at it and you don't quit, you can get where you want to go. It might look a little different than you initially planned, but if you don't ever quit, you will get there. Oh, Janice and Chandler, Ross and Emily, they taught us if it's not right, don't force it. Even with the couch that Ross tried to move up the stairwell, we learned this lesson multiple times over, especially when Rachel and Joey got together. Even the writers knew that one was weird. If something doesn't feel right or continues to disappoint, it might just be time for you to let it go and return the couch. Now, I know you really want to sing a song sometimes that might be too high for you. Adjust the key and try again. If it's still not working and you can't nail it, by the time your performance comes, don't put it in the set list. Don't do it at karaoke. Just let it be for a while. There's a bazillion songs to choose from. Find something else and kill it. You'll feel more confident and you'll enjoy it more because you won't be worried about your performance in the same way if it's not right. Just keep working on that first song, and when it's ready, you'll be ready to do it for an audience, but you don't need to sing every song that's out there. Oh, there's so many running jokes on the show that taught us that hard times eventually will turn into funny stories. Ross's multiple divorces come to mind, but they weren't really funny at the time. He really didn't even want that third one to Rachel in Vegas. That's pretty much how it goes in real life too. The craziest times eventually end up making great stories. So if you make a mistake in a performance, you flub a lyric, your voice cracks, just keep singing. Trust me, one day you'll laugh. And you'll also realize that everyone else has already forgotten about it long before you think that they will. Find a go-to place. It just seems really nice that the whole crew can gather around their table at Central Perk, hang out, chat. We all need a place like that. After a while, they even had a reserved sign on the table, which is cool too. As a singer, this is about having a support team around you, and specifically a teacher. That person whose only objective is to help you reach your voice goals, who you have a scheduled appointment with every week to keep up your study, to stretch yourself, to push yourself. Get a teacher if you don't have one. And if you do have one and you're not really taking advantage of it, write down some things you want to achieve, take it to your next lesson and share it with your teacher and ask for a plan to make those things happen. Last life lesson from Friends for today is life doesn't wait for anyone. You know, one of the biggest themes on the show was the importance of grabbing an opportunity as soon as it appears. Ross waited too long to talk to Rachel and lost her to Paolo. Richard lost Monica because he didn't want to have kids. And later when he realized he wanted her, even if it meant having kids, it was too late because she had moved on to Chandler. If you want to sing, sing. Don't wait. Always thought maybe voice lessons would be fun? Do it. Thinking about auditioning for a local musical? Get prepared and go for it. Don't wait to live your life. You can be singing more today, whether you do anything else to get better at it, because it brings you joy. The clock is ticking, and your life is passing you by. You could be having more fun, learning, growing, and experiencing all the benefits that come from when you take a chance. I hope you enjoyed these life lessons about confident singing from Friends, and I look forward to seeing you here next time. Once again, thank you so much for being here with me today. Now, if what you heard today resonates with you and you want to continue the conversation, then I want to personally invite you to join our private community over on Facebook. It is filled with singers just like you who are rowing their boat in the same direction. So visit us over at Confident Singing Made Simple on Facebook. That's facebook.com/groups/Confident Singing Made Simple. Until the next time, here's to your fantastic success.